Hey folks, David and Shockley Honda here. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday, my weekly segment where I go through different technologies built into our vehicles. Today we're going to be going over a pretty cool one. It's our CVT, or continuously variable transmission, and what this is compared to an automatic transmission. Alright, so your CVT transmission delivers a seamless acceleration without the interruption of gear shifts. So instead of having a fixed gear, it uses a pair of variable width pulleys that are connected on a flexible belt. Just like your automatic transmission, a CVT isn't that much different. The purpose of any transmission is to connect the engine to the wheels and to help the engine stay at the optimum RPM range as it powers the vehicle. Lower gears are good for your low speeds and your steeper hills, where your higher gears are good for your higher speeds. Now with the CVT, you don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have gears, you don't have to worry about which one should it be in. With your conventional automatic transmission, you will be passing through your gears. All right, you have a set number of low, medium, and high gears that are made to work with how the engine's operating to deliver the right power to the wheels and to propel your vehicle. When you drive one of the vehicles, you'll notice that it's a seamless increase instead of jumping up, lowering into, or going into another gear, going back up to shift to another gear to go back up. It's much easier, much more convenient. Anyone that does any kind of research knows that a lot of different manufacturers are actually moving towards this. They're making their own CVTs. In fact, Honda was one of the first ones to start the preparations to making them. Nissan was one of the first ones to put them out. Toyota has their own, a couple others have their own. However, if you go through and you look at any kind of research, they all point and show that the Honda is the most popular CVT models. Auto manufacturers are using the CVTs for many reasons. One of the biggest is to maximize the power out of a smaller engine. So for instance, in our CRV, we have a 1.5 liter turbo CVT. So the 1.5 is your engine, it has the turbo on it, and the CVT allows us to gain more power out of a smaller engine. Not only is the CVT used to maximize the power output of these smaller engines, but it's also for that quicker and more responsive acceleration. For all of those people that are out there that want to avoid gears, they're not their piece. They don't like that shifty feel when you're in your vehicle. You end up by accelerating, and then you feel that downshift, and you accelerate and you feel that downshift. If you don't like that, you want a nice smooth ride, you can't look any further than a CVT. They are probably one of the most interesting new additions to our industry. Now, there's plenty of reasons why these manufacturers are all going towards it. One of the biggest ones is fuel efficiency. So because you're able to utilize a smaller engine, you do have the opportunity for a lot better fuel efficiency. Looking into our Hondas, a lot of people will actually attribute that to having a smaller engine, and that's giving you your better fuel efficiency right there. Looking again at our CRV that has the turbo, they're acuting that with the power. However, a lot of that is actually coming from the CVT itself. It's that smooth transition that is helping these engines to kind of go a little bit further. There's a lot of different aspects to that. Now, you look at gears, and typically in most of your vehicles that have larger gears, you're getting that better fuel efficiency. If you've got 10 gear range, you're moving through each level, whereas in a CVT, you don't have to worry about actually moving through it at all. It's going to rotate itself, it's going to move itself, so that you don't have to worry about that shifting, you don't have to worry about that fuel efficiency. It's actually built right into the technology. Now you want to think about why dealerships and why these manufacturers love the CVTs, but you should actually consider why you should love it. Now the reasons are not just in the ride itself, how smooth it is, how much easier it makes your transition, but actually in the cost of the ownership of it. Now, one negative piece to it is that you will have to change the fluid at 60,000 instead of being at 72,000. I understand that it's a little bit back, it's not too much of a difference. The difference that you're gonna love is the fact that we have a lighter transmission, so that means it's less time that the mechanics have to spend working on that, charging you for the labor. You're actually gonna end up by getting that back based off of just even your fuel efficiency alone. Your normal automatic transmission has a bunch of different pieces that are all operating at the same time and they have to work together. Whereas if you look at a CVT, it contains a much simpler style, which means that they have simpler tests. It's faster to assemble them, so that's good on our part, but it costs less money to produce, which means that you're paying less money for that vehicle than if you were to go with a traditional automatic transmission. Now, some things that I started to see in my research of the CVTs and kind of diving in a little bit deeper was that a lot of people are saying that they're not made for speed. They're not made to hold, higher speeds. However, that's not necessarily the case. If you end up by test driving any of our vehicles, a Civic to or CRV, HRV, any of these pieces, you're going to realize that they actually do very well at holding that higher speed. It's a nice steady transition moving upwards, does very well. I drive a Civic hatchback for those that don't know, and I love it. It's an absolutely amazing vehicle. Just like with any new technologies that come out, you are going to have some cons to it. So the first one that I found was that speed. Again, I don't see it as much of an issue. The second piece was that they were developed for fuel efficiency, which is why they're used in the hybrids. And a lot of people are worried that having a CVT in their vehicle is going to end up by making their vehicle slower. It's not going to take off as fast. And don't get me wrong, they might have a slight hesitation to it, but it has gotten to the point where it's almost non-existent. So to all the older motors that are out there, you might find that there's a difference in the older vehicles versus the newer vehicles. And as we know, we always want to keep pressing forward. Honda's very good about thinking in the future. So one piece that you might find that's a little bit different is again going to be that postponement, or as you try to take off, you're going to notice a slight delay. It's really not much. It's just a different type of transmission. Regular transmissions, you have that initial throttle response, whereas these, it's less than a second, milliseconds. Another one of the bigger differences that the older motorists are going to end up by seeing is that while you're going up steep hills, it's always said it's a huge no-no if you are revving at higher RPMs in order to get up. It ends up by being, stressors that go on your engine can end up by actually hurting you. Now, when you have a CVT, you don't actually have to worry about that. It is continuously variable. It is constantly changing so that you can get the most out of it that you possibly could. Having a CVT in your vehicle actually takes a lot of those stressors off your engine, whereas in the traditional one, you would have those stressors at the higher RPMs. All right, y'all. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed our Tech Tuesday. That was our CVT. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate. You can give me a call at 301-694-5400, extension 1153, or on my cell phone, it's 240-440-8368. Come on down to Shockley Honda, ask for your favorite car salesman. For all of my YouTube followers, make sure that you go on, hit that like, make sure that you comment, share, that way everyone can learn a little bit more. I'll see y'all soon.